Hi everyone, I'm Kirby.
And I'm Sarah.
And we're Los Angeles. Strivectin is a brand that's long been regarded as top-tier skincare by professionals of all kinds.
We personally love how all of Strivectin's products are backed by science.
If you're looking for an eye cream to help smooth the appearance of crow's feet and under-eye puffiness, Strivectin's new Intensive Eye Concentrate for Wrinkles Plus is proven to do so, starting in just 5 days. To learn more, visit strivectin.com.
Hey, it's Mark Roberts, and this is Let's Get Into Entertainment.
The business of entertainment.
Thanks, David.
Of course.
I had Almaraz on October 1st.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. It brings to mind the struggle that people go through in this business. You know, the years and years of energy that you put into trying to sell and trying to deal and trying to figure out whether you're a producer or you're a director or you're a writer or you're a creator, like what you are. And then all of a sudden, you know, the internet explodes and you've got all these areas that put your product.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you know, once you sell something and things start to move and you start to make money and you start to make contacts and you start to make a name for yourself, we quickly forget how hard it was when we started. You know? Like, I can honestly go back to a time when I was sleeping on a friend's couch while I was in the business. You know?
Yeah.
So today, we've got Marco Santiago here. He's a filmmaker, he's a writer, he's a director. When we get back, we'll be talking to Marco Santiago. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Let's Get Into Entertainment.
The business of entertainment, Mr. Roberts.
That is the business of entertainment. Dave, thanks for being here.
Of course.
Of course, we do not have Rod Rinks, his name is Tootie, right? Who's Rod Rinks?
Who's Rod?
Here yet because he's working on set and they're not going to finish on time and he's got to make a living. And I think we always joke about it, but you know, at the end of the day, he does makeup on a very successful show for NBC called Access Hollywood, and he works with Mario Lopez, and he's got to make the dollars.
Got to do what you got to do.
Got to do what you got to do. But today, we're going to get into a really cool subject, which is, you know, writing, producing, directing. All this stuff doesn't just happen. You don't just step into the business and start doing it, right? There's a build to everything. There's exceptions to that rule, but there's a build to everything. And today we're going to talk to Marco Santiago. He is a Los Angeles-based Latino filmmaker. He co-produced Water and Power with me.
Oh, beautiful.
He graduated from the UCLA Professional Writers and Producers Program. He's been a 3-time fellow at NALEAP. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, definitely.
The struggle is real out here in Hollywood. It's not something for the faint of heart. You completely accept that you've got to be out there. So you submit your scripts to competitions. You go to NALEAP and meet with all those professionals.
Yep.
What do you do to not lose your energy? You know, because I think it could be really disappointing.
I've been doing it for quite a while, and any reasonable person at this point would have said, because I've been hacking away at this for like 15 years, I would have like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm moving on. You know, what else is there to do? Because it's not quite working. Although to a certain extent it has, and that's part of the thing. It's like, you know, with every project you write, with every project you're involved in, it's a finite stepping stone, and that's the way you got to see it in the broader picture. It's like these small victories. You need to take it for what they are, victories, while you're chasing a big dream. Even though you get to that point where you envision that you'll be, when you get there, it's like, all right, is this it? What's the next step? You know, so you're constantly doing it. In the end, I resigned myself into feeling that for me, the journey is more important, the curiosity to create and to tell stories that, first of all, need to resonate with myself, because you only want to do stories that are important. Otherwise, you're just basically doing it for someone else's sake. And keep doing it until finally it reaches a critical mass where, you know, enough people appreciate it, resonate with it to sort of like help you push your story or career forward to the next step. And then you do it all over again.
Right. Mm-hmm. How many years ago is Extraction?
Extraction is a short, that was like 10 years ago.
So this is exciting, right? Because you end up funding it, you end up making it.
Yeah.
And you're heading off into your dream within a 5-year period. So this is exciting. Tell me what your process was.
Extraction came about over a period of 2.5, maybe 3 years, where one of the principals who became the principal actress involved, Katrina Matusek.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, yeah. She and I were friends for a while. I met her on a social network platform that I created. At about 10,000 members. And her and I connected on this. So we got to meet each other as creatives. He's an actor, and I was basically hustling as a writer-director. And she approached me about writing a project for her, which, we wound up writing it for her because she wanted to play this female action hero.
For her to star in.
Yeah.
And that happened.
And it happened. And her boyfriend... Jim Flash, if I'm allowed to mention his name,
sure.
Also rest in peace. Yeah. He was curious about the process, never did a film before, fabulously wealthy by virtue of him being a venture capitalist.
So Jim Flash, rest in peace, who was dating Katrina, rest in peace.
Right.
Both terrific people.
Yeah.
Jim Flash was incredibly wealthy because he was one of the first investors, or his group was, in Facebook.
XL Partners,
If I was you, I'd be pretty pumped at this point.
Oh, I was. You keep on doing that. Eventually you meet certain enablers, and Jim was one of them. Katrina was one of them.
Yeah.
So we started a production company, and
you were getting in deep.
Yeah. So we started a production company, and so we meet over dinner. I like him, he likes me. And then a couple of days later, Katrina and I have lunch, and she says, "Oh, Jim, Marco, by the way, Jim and I talked a little bit more about filmmaking. We want to start a production company together." Picks up the phone, calls Jim. And half a minute later, she hangs up. She says, "Me, you, and Jim are going to start a film production company together."
Wow.
Okay.
That's exciting.
So that was exciting. So it's kind of funny how that happens.
Yeah. So hold for a sec. So he's waddling in. I just want to do the play-by-play.
You guys already started?
Oh, yeah. Good.
So what bucket are we in?
We're not in any buckets right now.
Oh,
Shut up.
okay.
Here we go. Ready?
Okay.
You'll get right into it. It's fine.
I know I will.
This is in your lane. This is totally in your
I
lane.
already know it is. It's not yours.
This is in your lane. Okay, here we go. We'll get back to it. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not starting again, but Tootie has now arrived from his job, where he gets paid to pay for his mortgage and his kids.
Yes,
and by the way, you have beautiful kids. Your daughter is my favorite.
You can have her. She's a pain in the
favorite
ass.
Little kid. No, I'll trade you daughters.
No. Oh, yeah.
But anyway, I know that you were working with Mario.
I had to clock in,
Yeah, you're
Remember
clocking
you asked me that one time?
Yeah, you got to make a living. So welcome back to the show. Thank you for showing up. We're talking to Marco. And where I was going back to is I wanted to go back to, you started this really cool social network where you met a girl. That girl wanted to get into show business, appreciated your talents, talked to her boyfriend, who was Jim Flash from the XL Partners, the original investors in Facebook. She calls him, then calls you and says, "Hey, man, let's start a production company. You, me, and Jim, we're going to make movies together. And the first one is going to be
Extraction."
Now, was that her idea or your idea?
That was her idea. And I'll make this short. I mean, originally there was a writer that wrote her a piece, but it didn't make sense. I gave her some notes to give to him.
Let's be honest. Yeah. No writer likes any other writer's work. Come on. I've never given a script to a writer and said, "What do you think of this?" and have them come back like, "It's perfect."
No, they don't. Well, producers are the best.
To make a long story short, I told you I can do this better.
Right. Of course you did. Yeah. Right thing to say.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
So Jim, at first he tried optioning a short, if you can imagine that, the script from the guy that I said I can do better. But we wound up going in a different direction, and then Jim basically financed the short, and there was an action-adventure piece that I wrote for her because she wanted to play a strong, action hero. Uh-huh. And, it got done. We showed it at some film festivals and all that good stuff.
But hang on. So you wrote it?
Mm-hmm.
You produced it?
I wrote it, directed, and was one of 3 producers on it.
Okay, well, that's okay. You produced it. So you wrote it, you directed it, you produced it.
Right.
Katrina starred in it.
Right.
And Jim funded it.
He funded it.
Okay, cool. So awesome. So now, 2.5, 5 years into your Hollywood career and you're making movies.
Or what little of it there was.
Right. Well, still, look,
it's still
You're doing it.
it's still exciting. I just want to get to the struggle. There's a lot of excitement in the struggle, right? You're at 2.5, 5 years, and you've got Jim Flash.
Yeah.
Now
See, that's a Hollywood story right there.
If Tootie had Jim Flash, he'd be pitching that shit all up and down Ventura Boulevard, man.
To admit, considering the budget for what you were, because I heard you work at your $10,000 feature, if I'm allowed to say.
did. Yeah, it started at 10.
Okay.
It's a little more now, but I'll
you
finish.
would cringe at the amount of money Jim threw at this short film.
How much did you guys spend? Wait, how much did you spend?
I don't say to admit it.
How much was it? It looked like it was $50,000.
No, it was more than that. It was.
Whoa. Fuck. I thought 50.
It was close to $100,000 for a short film.
Oh, my.
Wow.
goodness.
What year was this?
This is 2010, 2011, somewhere around there. Yeah.
Oh, man, that's a lot.
All right, so wipe your mouth. You're salivating right there.
What's this guy's name? You have his info?
He passed away. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. He's a good guy, really good guy.
So now, as film production goes and as having a dream to do it, you're doing it. It's not exactly what you want. I get it. We've all been there.
Sure.
We've all been there where the girl wants the part and the boyfriend's funding it. Believe me, I've been there more than once.
It's like a Hollywood cliche when you think of that.
I've been there more than once, but you're doing it. You're excited. You finish it. You go to festivals and you guys all have parties and you have a good time. What's happening in that portion of your life? What's happening now with Extraction being out?
Well, with Extraction, the reason we did that, because Jim wanted the experience of wanting to know what it's like to make a movie. You know, him knowing that he was going to invest in larger projects. And that was the whole vision from the very beginning.
Right.
Can I ask you, though?
Yeah.
So that budget, $100,000.
Small you look.
Did you? I know, right? You know, like it's little.
You look ridiculous.
It's the chair. What do you want me to do? It stole my seat.
Crank it up.
I don't know if it goes up. Oh, yeah, it does. Hold on.
There you go. Oh, yeah.
There we
All
go.
right.
There we go.
And the hat helps too.
The hat does help. Gives me a little bit of height. All right.
Maddie's going to get mad at us, man. Come on.
I know. Okay, really back. So when you get to the $100,000, didn't you look at that short and say, I can make this into a feature? Or no?
We talked about that. And in fact,
because a feature you could do something with. The short, you're kind of like.
Believe me, there is a sense of guilt. And I'm like, we should be shooting a nice indie feature. With And in fact, at the time, we could have done what I had written as a first screenplay called 86, which is something I developed at the Relief Writers Lab. And I'm like, why am I not shooting this?
Yeah.
Instead, I just personally didn't feel like I was ready. In retrospect, we should have done it.
Yeah.
But at the time, I just sort of like, it needs a little bit more work. Let's do Extraction instead. Yeah. And for us, it was sort of like a way of sort of like seeing how we work together.
Yeah.
So that's primarily why we did it. Jim wanted to sort of like dip his toes into.
And as a filmmaker, I got to tell you how you're thinking, because I had an opportunity come up not too long ago with this guy from Dubai who wanted to be a director, and I wrote a short. It was really cool. Same thing. He wanted to do something in like the action superhero. It was a really cool short. $54,000. That's what he was going to pay for this short.
Right.
And me and the other filmmaker were like, let's just do a feature. But, you know, our thoughts were we do that for 54.
Right.
He's going to, and we do a good job. He's going to easily throw in $1 million too. And so you're probably thinking, I'll do this. And in the big picture, I'm going to get a bigger deal.
Yeah. Knowing that was going to happen, but it didn't happen.
Listen to these guys. Listen to these guys.
If Roberts isn't talking, then he's like a little kid. He gets all distracted. He hits Davy Dave. He's like I feel like I'm with my kids, because if they're not the attention, then they're doing shit on the side.
I don't need to work as hard.
Yeah.
All right. So
go ahead, Nino.
So listen, you're going to festivals. Go back to when you guys are showing and you're talking and everyone's excited. What are you guys talking about? What is the future for you guys? Really? This might be painful, but let's talk about it anyway.
No, it's an interesting story, because in retrospect, we could have done a lot more.
What were you guys talking about doing next? I guess is my question.
86.
Okay, so there was a project that you had written that was your idea, called 86. Now, what was 86? 86
is my very first screenplay. It sort of like came about from a short film that ran away from me because it got to 40 pages. And I'm like, screw it, just make it a feature. And it basically it was sort of like an ensemble, much like in the vein of Crash or Modus Perros. There's four groups of people whose lives come together in a highway collision. And it's told primarily through a character named Cisco, who's transporting illegal contraband, which winds up being a frozen kidney that he nefariously acquired in Mexico, bringing it into the United States to save his dying mother. Mm-hmm. And the collision complicates things, and it becomes like a ticking time bomb. His kidneys are only stay good for like 6 hours in that igloo cooler, which is what he was transporting it in.
So, by the way, nice pitch, well told.
Yeah, that was really good.
Really, high concept, really well done.
You did something similar, right, Robert, with a heart?
I actually did do a heart. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Not quite as good a story. Yeah.
Both very critical.
Kidneys more realistic. Come on, a frozen heart, Robert.
I know.
Oh, come on. We'll move past that.
Come on, have a heart.
Oh,
decades.
All right, carry on, Nino. I know.
So, 86 was next in the hopper.
Right.
Okay. Then, somehow, what was your connection to Sundance in all of this?
And this gets back to your theme about, sort of like continuing to work until, you meet certain people.
Oh, don't worry. I'll bring up.
Okay.
Now that Titty's here, we'll talk about all that.
All right. So I was a fellow at NALEAP a couple of times as a writer, once as a producer.
And NALEAP, just explain what NALEAP is.
NALEAP is a nonprofit. It's an acronym for National Association of Latino Independent Producers that supports Latino filmmakers, producers, writers, directors.
And you got connected into that.
Yeah. I went into the fellowship program as a writer with 86. And along the way, I got to know Alexis Garcia, who at the time, and still is, at the time he was an agent at William Morris Endeavor. And then later on when I connected with Jim, I called Alexis over at WME and told him, hey, I have a big fish.
Mm-hmm.
He's very interested in making
You had
movies.
a whale as it were.
Yeah, he's a whale.
Yeah.
But I told him that we wanted to form this production company, and if we're going to do anything worth doing, we need some serious representation. And so he congratulated me and set up a meeting and out to LA at the time. I lived in Arizona. We all did. Met with him, and it sort of like went from there. After a few months, because he knew that we as a production company was looking for projects to do at a certain budget range. And at the time, 86 wasn't ready. I didn't feel it was ready. So he basically, I guess he put out the word to Sundance that it was a new startup production company. It's well funded. They're looking for projects. And that's when Michelle Satter introduced me to Water and Power.
Okay, so now here's where the show gets interesting. Okay, here's where it gets interesting. Listen up. Get your pin out.
I was there, fool. I remember you came to the Grove and pitched Lopez. You wanted me to the cop. Well, I mean, do you think I just walked in on this thing?
Listen,
I mean,
actually, you didn't just walk in
on the show, but I've been around for decades. What's the matter with you?
Listen to me. This gets really interesting.
The audience.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This gets really interesting here. So figure it out. Listen to me. So you meet Michelle Satter. Michelle Satter and Robert Redford started Sundance together. Together, dude. Michelle Satter and Robert Redford. So Michelle Satter's giving Marco notes
on 86. Yeah.
On 86. And then, separate from that, I go watch Water and Power in a play. I meet Montoya. I tell him I want to do this. This was a year before we meet, okay? Yeah. He's working with another producer. I say, when that guy doesn't make it, call me.
Right.
Year passes. Now we're back on track.
Yeah.
He calls me. He says, hey, they didn't make it. It's not being made. I was wondering if you want to jump in. Sure. So he, at this point, is in the Sundance Labs,
right,
doing Water and Power as an example movie with Emilio Rivera from the play. I had seen it. He calls me and says, hey, I finished like the little scenes that I was doing for Sundance, and Michelle Satter might be able to help us make our film.
Right.
And I was, and as a producer, I jumped on that idea. I was like, wait a minute, I can meet with Michelle Satter and she can help us. So we go to Michelle Satter's office and I'm like sweating, right? Because this is a big deal.
Sure.
So I'm sitting there with Michelle Satter. Montoya's there. Michelle's lovely. There's pictures of her from years and decades of Sundance and hit movies, all this crazy stuff.
Right.
And she says, I'm going to help you guys make this movie. I'm going to present you to people that are interested in making Sundance films,
right?
Funding Sundance.
Sure. Yeah. And this is what, years before we got connected?
No, this is like the year we got connected.
Oh, okay.
So I'm jumping in like right, the train's moving, right?
He sees opportunity.
Yeah. So I'm jumping on the train as it's moving, and she says, "Oh, this," and I'm like jumping out of my skin, but I'm keeping it super cool. Like, oh, okay, yeah, whoever you want us to meet, and I'm thinking to myself, this is the perfect way to meet somebody, right? Sure. So I say nothing. a day later, she emails and says, I got 3 companies that would like to talk to you about water and power.
Were we one of the 3?
You guys were one of them. So, yeah, there's good stuff, right? Because there's 2 sides. And I don't think we've ever talked about this before, right? So Michelle Satter says, I got some people for you. We, I think, have just a couple of phone calls because I don't think we meet at this point. I just talked to Jim Flash on the phone. And Jim's like, I'm not sure. I might be able to do a couple $100,000. I'm like, it's going to cost 600, Jim. He's like, well, I'll give you 2. And being the producer I am, I said, I'll take the 2. Right. I got the 2. We're taking the 2. So then you come in.
Final way of getting rest.
Yeah. I meet you. Yeah. I meet Katrina, who are going to join us as producers on the project as well, as well as Jim as our executive. We all meet and we decide we're going to move forward with Water and Power, which steps in front of 86.
Right.
Got it.
With regards to 86, and this is why I think this story is sort of like serendipitous, but also kind of destiny where Water and Power is concerned. Because I think in 2007, 2008, Water and Power got accepted into the lab, if I'm not mistaken. And I remember that. And it wasn't until Michelle Satter pitched me Water and Power that I looked down. I'm like, this sounds familiar. Richard Montoya, Water and Power. Oh, I know why. Because that project got in when mine didn't that same year. And mine was a finalist. Yep. 86 was a finalist that same year to get into the Writers Lab.
Oh, wow.
Water and Power gets in. Flash forward 4 or 5 years.
You're producing.
And I'm helping to produce Water and Power.
That's
Meanwhile,
amazing.
86 is sort of like in a back burner because I don't feel like it's quite ready. So it's kind of funny how those 2 worlds collide.
Do you feel like it's ready now? 86?
No, I've since let go of it.
Don't give up on 86.
I think it's a good
Start
story.
something else, but don't give up on 86.
Put it to bed.
Stop it.
The show started off as the struggle, the struggle as a filmmaker, the struggle as a writer, the struggle as a producer.
The journey.
It's the journey that we're taking, right? And lots of times you turn right and left. I mean, we talk on the show all the time about, opportunities and how you should take them and whether, you can jump on a moving train and be part of it rather than be leading it. It doesn't always have to be with those things. Right. So in this particular scenario, fate had something to do with how it happened.
Sure.
And circumstance, right? Yeah. And a lot of great people. So just to put a pin in Water and Power, what was interesting about doing that, and one day we should do a whole show about how it got financed.
Sure.
What was interesting about that is that you guys jumped on, you took your position on the show. We ended up having Jim fund the entire movie, but I knew that was going to happen.
You knew that, huh?
I didn't know. I
so
didn't
you put
know.
in 2, and you're like, I'll get the 4 later.
For
yeah, right. Well, it's funny because we were on the phone with Jim. I just love these stories. I think they're so valuable. But we were on the phone with Jim, and Jim hadn't really committed to the full 600. Right, he had committed to the 2. Barely to the 2. And we were on the phone and we had gotten everyone sadder. Everyone was on the phone. You might have been on that phone call.
Not while Satter was on, but I knew it was going on.
And Jim got really upset at some point in the conversation. Well, what are we doing here? And I put him on mute and I looked at Richard Montoya and I was like, because once you get upset on a phone call, and you're talking about money and production,
you're kind of invested.
That's it.
Yeah.
You're done. You're in.
I mean, you're emotionally invested as well as eventually financially invested.
So we moved forward. We made Water and Power. It cost $600,000. We were able to keep it on budget. It was a beautiful film.
Yeah.
Very personal. Yeah. We ended up having Clancy Brown in it. We got Amelia Rivera in it. We've got Nick Gonzalez in it.
Jacob Vargas.
All big stars.
Yeah.
Vargas is in it. So it was a real success. But at the end of the day, it's hard no matter what you do, right? You were involved in this great circle of people. You had, the investor from Facebook. Mm-hmm. You had him excited about production company. You had done Water and Power, which you connected with WME, and you connected with, Sundance and Michelle Satter. Yeah, you're talking about great connections.
Yeah, it was pretty heady at this time.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about something great.
You got the rep.
Yeah.
You got everything.
Yeah.
It's a big deal,
At the time, I was pinching myself because... got Mark Roberts. No, it was surreal because it's like in one singular point, we had the capital. We had Jim. He was curious about the process. He wanted to make movies. We had representation and we had Sundance involved. So I thought for a finite period of time, we felt like if we did this right, we could do some amazing stuff.
Yeah, we did a little art film and it did okay. We all sort of moved on to other things. But again, you finish all this exciting stuff and then you go right back to your apartment, and you've got to start from ground zero again, right? No matter what you did, no matter how you do,
no
matter who you meet, no matter what happens, you always come back to you and you've got to restart everything, right? Because no one cares about what you did. They only care about what you're doing.
Right.
Right.
Because, what you did, it's like, well, it was nice, but what's in it for me after you're done with it?
Right. So how did it feel? Like, what was next for you?
For me, 86 allowed me to sort of like meet the right people, to be involved with Nalip, WME, Sundance, yourself as producer. We got Water and Power Done. So I felt like, okay, for what it is, it did its job and it gave me some entree, some credibility in the industry. So I decided to sort of like, all right, work on something else. What else am I working on? Because, I have some different interests. So I started working on some other projects and sort of like knew that it was still going to be a long haul. Yeah. It's not going to happen overnight. Having been involved as a producer on a feature film that was developed at Sundance, I was like, wow, that's great. But now I have to do something else. I got to practically start all over again and still maintain relationships actively. I wouldn't say impressed, but at least have mind share of some principles in the industry, knowing that I did Water and Power, but still it fell on me to continue to do the work to write and maintain those relationships and show them that I'm serious.
Yeah.
I continue to write as a writer. You got to write and just show them that you're serious about this.
Well, look, we're 15 years into when you started.
Yeah.
That happened around 5. So that means we're 10 years beyond that. You're writing every day. Mm-hmm. You're meeting with people every day. The success story that you have is that you just optioned the book about someone's true life from WME. So you're moving into big things as we speak.
Yeah.
What advice can you give a young filmmaker, writer that gets 5, 6, 7 years into it and isn't making it happen?
Well,
like, what can you
I don't
say?
think this would have happened. And of course, this is going to be a journey in itself, the book. By the way, the book is called Boy, the Fighter Pilot Who Changed the Art of War. And he's a very important historical figure. The author is a 2-time nominated Pulitzer Prize winning writer. And I don't think he would have given me a second look if I had already established myself to whatever extent I was able to with Water and Power, Sundance relationship. So I can legitimately in the email say, hey, I've done this and that. I fell in love with your book. This is where I want to go with it. And he responded the next day. This is like January 2nd of this year, and told me he was delighted about the possibility of making this book into a feature, having already been approached by some other very well-known producers. But apparently he liked the pitch. And that's because I really connected with it.
If you're listening, doesn't matter if you're a lawyer, if you're in business for yourself, if you're a teacher, if you have a story that you want to tell, this is an amazing person to be talking to. And I mean you, Marco, because you use all of the things available to everybody, right? You use Nalip, you use UCLA, right? You use any opportunity you can to go to pitch fests. I mean, these are places that you can go. If you have a story to tell, there's places where you can tell those stories. Sure. And a lot of the contacts that you've made after Jim and after Extraction all came from your willingness to touch and reach and put your scripts in competition and do that. So would you say that that's something that others should do?
Yeah. I mean, it's just, you just got to continue moving forward and whatever resources you have available, whether it be mentors. I mean, I've had mentors, for example, really, that I still maintain good relationships.
That's awesome. I've never wanted to do that. Is that cool?
Here's the thing. It's like, as long as you're not purely transactional, these relationships, and that's the problem with Hollywood, is that a lot of people are just,
see, that's my problem. That's why I never wanted to do it.
Yeah. It's like, and treat these people with respect and knowing that they put in a lot of work. They've been there, just like I'm currently at right now. And even fellow writers. Join some writing groups. I've been in a couple of writing groups. I'm in this workshop that I'm taking for the third time with the same writing instructor who I met at UCLA, and these are by invitation only. And I'm okay.
But all of this other work's gotten you to the invitation only.
Right.
Yeah.
But this by itself.
Right.
So it's all about relationships and just being respectful of people's time and being authentic.
Well, the reason I wanted you on the show today is because I want people to know that persistence will pay off.
Yeah.
I am certain that I'm going to see on Instagram, or you're going to send out an email or something, that you sold something and that you're making something, or that you just signed some huge deal. Yeah. I'm certain of it because I know that this business is all about persistence and listening and meeting and talking, and just eventually you fit. Right. Yeah. It's like a puzzle piece. You got to keep trying to fit yourself in there, and eventually you'll get there. So, if you're listening, you want to take advantage of the things and stop complaining about all the areas that you can't get into, and just use the areas that you can get into, because there are a lot of pitch fests and things like that a lot of executives go to. Yeah. And even if they're sending their assistants or the junior people, those people will eventually be big people. Sure. And they may remember that great pitch that you laid on them at the pitch fest. So I don't know. Thank you for coming and sharing your stuff. Congratulations on Boyd, the book.
Thank you.
I can't wait for you to come back and tell us that you're making
coming
it
soon to the theater, or streaming.
And exactly. and the other thing I want to talk to you about is, do you know of a company called extrememusic.com?
I can't say I have.
Then this is your lucky day. There's a guy named Russ Emanuel who created a website. Tremendous guy. You've been promising to call him. He's been waiting for the call.
That's not.
He wants to be on the show. He wants to be on the show.
Oh, okay. Well, that's different. Okay. Take it easy.
So, no, he created this great website, this great platform where composers from all over the world put their music, and they make it available to anybody that's making a movie, doing a commercial, doing any kind of program. Right. Tootie's using it on his movie.
So you in Mexico. License them for free or something?
You don't license them for free. You actually have to pay for them. But I did Love and Betrayal on the Force. Every single cue, 86 cues, is from extrememusic.com.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
These guys provide comedy. They little ending. I meant to get on Extreme Music on the show, but we're running long. But I meant to do it on the show because what you can do is you can take a song, and if you like the elements of the song, but you don't like all of the instrumentation, you can remove any instrument you want. So let's say they used 5 instruments. You can remove 2 of them. You can remove 3 of them. You can only use the guitar, only use the drums.
So you can almost like compose.
Pretty much.
I mean? Yeah, you can compose.
I have to look at my next
really
short.
Cool.
Exactly. Some of them have vocals, and if you don't like the vocals, there's an instrumental version. I mean, it's just really a remarkable.
Extreme Music.
Extrememusic.com. It's a remarkable tool, and it's affordable. And if you've got a big budget, that's fine too. They have songs on Sons of Anarchy that became huge hits. Like literally, the composer made millions of dollars off of that one song. Nice. So check it out, because you can use any level, any genre of music. You find it there, you download it, you make a deal with Russ, not Russ particularly, but definitely with extrememusic.com.
Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer, those guys, all those guys.
Hans Zimmer? Yeah, that's huge.
But so Extreme Music for all your music needs. But dude, congratulations. Thank you for being on the show. Thanks for sharing your life. I think it's important to know that, there's a struggle, that there's a hustle.
Yeah.
And as long as you never give up, you're probably going to be okay. All right, buddy.
Just a matter of time.
Thanks for being here on Let's Get Into It. Dave, thanks for driving out. Thanks for showing up whenever you show up.
Well, I had to clock in, Roberts. Remember that conversation you had a while back?
Listen to me, Tito.
That's Tootie 2000.
Thanks, buddy.
The wait is over. New episodes of The Walking Dead Season 10 are premiering early February 21st on AMC+. Don't miss the extended 10th season featuring 6 new episodes, each focused on fan-favorite characters. Prepare for all new high-stakes showdowns and emotional reckonings by catching up on the latest season before new episodes drop. With season binges, exclusive content, and early access to new episodes, the best Walking Dead experience is only on AMC+. Get lost in the Walking Dead universe today. Available ad-free and on demand. Sign up at amcplus.com. AMC+. Only the good stuff.